guys, welcome back to our City Skylines region of Coniferia. In today's episode we are continuing with this quite heavily populated expansion in the northwestern part of the city of Pine Harbour. We got a huge district done in the last episode. We named it Garland. And in today's episode, we're actually splitting this up along the train tracks and the train bridge. So we're splitting it up into North Garland and South Garland, respectively. We're filling out an empty area that kind of borders the existing public housing projects in Garland and the highway, the elevated highway, and the railway network. So we've got this sort of open spot here between these pieces of infrastructure and other housing that needs to be filled out. And as you guys will see throughout the time lapse here, we're going for quite a high density actually. And as we've talked into before, much of this can be traced back to the pretty severe housing crisis of the 1970s. Which resulted in the largest boom in apartment construction in the region of Coniferia. So while the city of Pine Harbour has overall a much lower density than our island regional capital of Port Douglas, then you will find these districts on the edge of the city and in various parts of the city that are actually quite dense. So yeah, this is the first thing we are embarking on here in the episode. Hope you guys enjoy the time lapse, and I'll get back to you when we're done with this area. Alright, let's take a quick recap of what we built here in the eastern part of South Garland. As I mentioned in the beginning of the episode, wanted to go for a pretty good density level, and I kind of, guess I copy pasted the design I had made here for this particular block of public housing apartments, and I kind of made a few tweaks, made these L-shaped complexes here just to add a bit of extra flair, but overall the premise is sort of the same. As you guys might have noticed, I used Node controller to try and adjust the shifting of these so that we've got this little more custom design here to our parking lot, to our roads here with parking, and I think that turned out quite well. This school felt very, no road access, oh well, that's how it is. Felt very special placing down these Garland elementary schools. It's of course just supposed to be one school, but there are two here, because this is actually the, I think this is the elementary school from SimCity 4, a game which I spent, thousands of hours playing as well, and a game which I have very fond memories of, so really cool to have that in our city, I think. These Sydney Harbour apartment towers are just super cool, and they are really dense as well. 29 households in each of them, and yeah, I didn't really have much of like a plan for the landscaping and detailing here, so it's a little random at places. I didn't feel super creative, unfortunately, but I think overall it's turned out all right. Let's take a look at some stats. So as you guys can see, we've the north and southern parts of Garland is sort of divided by the train tracks. We can see South Garland is primarily just a residential area, 723 population. Looks all right. If we take a look at North Garland, we've got about a 20-25% higher population, which is really due to these pretty massive modern residential complexes. And as you guys could see, we've also got a bit of a commercial base here, because of course we've got this Macy's, this huge big box retail here, which does employ quite a few people. So yeah, I think this looks quite all right. I'm gonna add some finishing touches, maybe do a bit more expansion now, and I think it's time that we give this intersection here quite an upgrade, because it's already starting to get a little busy, and with time and further expansions, it's probably gonna become even more busy. So I think we should just continue with that. Alright, so I'm not sure I've actually increased capacity at all. I've probably limited it by actually reducing the amount of lanes, but I mean, it looks cool with a little extra traffic, right? And always looks good with a little extra detailing as well. So yeah, I think this sort of wraps up this episode. A bit of a shorter one, but really having trouble trying to manage my spare time currently, unfortunately. So that does affect the capacity at which I can create content, unfortunately. I guess as a final note, thank you guys for watching this, and thank you guys so much for all the support, of course. It feels like I'm getting a new patron every day, which is kind of crazy, really. So thank you guys over on Patreon as well, of course. But thank you for watching and supporting. Thank you guys for all the nice and cool comments. And yeah, I'll wrap up with some hopefully juicy cinematics, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.